Apollo, the god of music, didn't stay on the top of Olympic all the time. He liked to wander about on the earth and see what was happening to men and women. People were always glad to see him and to listen to what he said. They could not understand why he was so wise, nor how he knew so much about flowers and trees, and how to make people well again when they were ill. He was always young and beautiful, and he played sweeter music on his lyre than people had ever heard before. In a village on a mountain there lived a girl called Coronita. She was very beautiful. When Apollo saw her, he loved her and asked her to be his wife. After a time, they had a baby son. They called him Aesculapius. One day Apollo decided to go on a journey to a mountain a long way away. He didn't like leaving his wife and baby, but he thought they would be safe, and he knew how to get news of them while he was away. He had a crow which was very wise, and which could talk. It was not black like crows are today, but as white as snow. Apollo told the crow to fly to him every day to tell him how his wife and baby were, and what they were doing. But the crow did not always tell the truth, and sometimes it told parts of a story and then invented the rest, without finding out what it was really all about. Every day the bird flew to Apollo and said, "Coronita is well and your baby is well." Then one day it came late, and it seemed rather out of breath. It sat on the branch of a tree and said caw, 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 and then waited, as if it had something else to say. "What is the matter?" asked Apollo. "Is anything wrong? Tell me." "Your wife is enjoying herself, and she is not looking after the baby," said the crow. Then, without saying any more, it flew away. Apollo believed what the bird said and was very angry with Coronita. He hurried back to find out what was happening to his baby. When he came to the village where he lived, he saw something white through the trees which were around his house, and he knew that was Coronita's dress. He remembered what the crow had said. He was sure that she was walking in the garden and was not looking after the baby. He shot an arrow from his bow. The arrow hit Coronita's herd. She cried out and fell down on the grass. Apollo ran to her and found she was dying. He was very sorry for what he had done, but it was too late. He took Coronita in his arms. She was just able to tell him that the baby was well. She had seen him coming and had left the baby with a friend, so that she could come and meet him. While Apollo wept because Coronita was dead, he heard the voice of the crow from a tree nearby saying, "Caw, caw, caw." He looked up and saw the bird. It began to tell him the story of what had really happened. Apollo knew now that Coronita had never left the baby alone. He was very angry indeed, and he would not let the crow speak. "Wicked bird," he cried, "you will never speak another word. You will only be able to say, 'Caw, caw, caw,' and your feathers will no longer be white, but will be black as night." And from that time crows have all been black, and only sound they ever make is caw, caw, caw.